What if I told you some trucks looked so bizarre that people thought they came from another planet? One had its driver sitting above the engine like a helicopter pilot. Another bent in the middle like a giant metal snake. Some hauled hundreds of tons while riding on wheels taller than a house. These weren't prototypes or science fiction. They were real machines that worked in mines, forests, deserts, and frozen wastelands. Today, we're counting down the 10 strangest truck designs the world has almost completely forgotten. Number 10. Foden S21. Mickey Mouse. The trucking industry has produced countless unusual vehicles over the years, but few looked stranger than the Foden S21, nicknamed the Mickey Mouse truck by drivers and mechanics. Built in Britain during the 1930s and early 1940s, the truck earned its nickname because of its unusual cab design. The rounded roof and distinctive shape gave it an appearance that reminded people of cartoon characters rather than heavy industrial equipment. At a time when most trucks featured simple box-like bodies, the Foden looked completely different. The truck was powered by a steam engine, something that was already becoming old-fashioned as diesel technology improved. Steam trucks required operators to manage water levels, fuel supplies, and boiler pressure constantly. Starting the vehicle often took much longer than simply turning the key in a diesel-powered machine. Despite the complexity, many operators loved these trucks. Steam engines produced impressive pulling power, making them useful for hauling heavy cargo across Britain. The design also reflected a time when truck manufacturers experimented with different ideas before the industry settled on modern layouts. Today, very few people remember the Foden S21, but its strange appearance makes it one of the most recognizable forgotten truck designs ever built. Looking at one now feels like staring into an alternate version of trucking history, where engineers followed a completely different path. Number 9. Tatra 813 Kolos. At first glance, the Tatra 8113 looks less like a truck and more like a military vehicle designed for exploring another planet. Produced in what is now the Czech Republic during the late 1960s and 1970s, the Tatra 813 was built for extreme terrain. Its massive size, unusual proportions, and distinctive cab gave it a look unlike anything produced by Western manufacturers at the time. What made the truck especially unusual was Tatra's famous backbone tube chassis. Instead of using a conventional truck frame, engineers designed a central tube running through the vehicle. Independent swinging half-axles connected to this backbone structure, allowing the truck to travel over rough terrain while maintaining traction. Many versions used an 8-wheel drive configuration, giving them exceptional off-road performance. Military forces, construction companies, and heavy industries relied on these trucks in areas where ordinary vehicles simply could not operate. The air-cooled V12 diesel engine also stood out. While most manufacturers preferred liquid cooling systems, Tatra continued using air-cooled engines because of their durability and simplicity in harsh environments. The result was a machine that looked strange, sounded different, and operated unlike almost every other truck on Earth. Even today, seeing a Tatra 813 driving through mud or climbing steep obstacles is enough to make modern trucks seem ordinary by comparison. Number 8. Berliet T100. Imagine building a truck so enormous that people travel from around the world just to see it in a museum. That is exactly what happened with the Berliet T100. Introduced in 1957 by French manufacturer Berliet, the T100 was one of the largest trucks ever built at the time. Only 4 examples were produced, making it one of the rarest giant trucks in history. The truck was designed specifically for oil exploration and heavy transport operations in the Sahara Desert. Engineers needed a vehicle capable of moving huge loads across remote areas where roads barely existed. The dimensions were staggering. The tires alone stood several meters tall. Drivers climbed into the cab using ladders because the vehicle sat so high above the ground. Standing next to a Berliet T100 made ordinary trucks look like toys. Power came from a massive diesel engine producing hundreds of horsepower, enough to move the truck and its enormous payload through harsh desert conditions. The vehicle's unusual proportions created a silhouette unlike any conventional truck before or since. Although the project demonstrated incredible engineering ambition, The rise of specialized heavy equipment and changing transportation methods limited its practical future. Only a handful were ever built. Today, the Berliet T100 remains one of the most astonishing examples of extreme truck design, a machine so oversized and unusual that it still captures attention nearly 70 years after its creation. Number 7. Leyland Roadtrain. Sometimes the strangest truck designs are not the biggest or the most powerful. Sometimes they are strange because they look like they came from the future, and that's exactly what happened with the Leyland Roadtrain. When the Roadtrain was introduced in Britain during the late 1970s, it looked completely different from almost every truck on the road. Most heavy trucks of the era still carried design ideas from the 1960s, with boxy shapes, flat panels, and little concern for aerodynamics. The Roadtrain, however, appeared as if engineers had skipped ahead a decade. Its cab featured smooth lines, large windows, rounded corners, and a futuristic appearance that stood out wherever it traveled. The truck was developed by British manufacturer Leyland as part of an effort to modernize the country's commercial vehicle industry. At the time, competition from European manufacturers was increasing rapidly, and Leyland needed something that would attract operators looking for a more modern machine. The result was a truck that immediately gained attention because it looked unlike anything most drivers had seen before. One of the most unusual features was the cab itself. Engineers designed it with driver comfort in mind, something that was becoming increasingly important in long-haul transportation. Visibility was improved, controls were positioned more logically, and the overall driving experience was intended to reduce fatigue during long journeys. While these features are common today, they were considered highly advanced when the Roadtrain first appeared. Under the cab, the truck was available with several diesel engine options and was capable of handling a wide range of transport duties. It served in long-distance freight operations across Britain and parts of Europe, proving that it was more than just an interesting-looking machine. Despite its innovative design, the Roadtrain arrived during a difficult period for Leyland. Financial problems and industry changes limited the truck's long-term impact. Over time, newer models replaced it, and many examples disappeared from the roads. Number 6. Tatra 111. If there was ever a truck that looked like it had been designed to survive the end of the world, it would be the Tatra. Built during the 1940s and continuing into the 1960s, the Tatra 111 became one of the most unusual and recognizable heavy trucks ever created. At first glance, its appearance seemed odd even by the standards of its time. The rounded front end, distinctive fenders, and unusual proportions made it look completely different from American and Western European trucks. The truck was originally developed during World War II for use in extremely difficult conditions. Engineers needed a machine that could operate on poor roads, muddy terrain, snow-covered routes, and remote construction sites. To accomplish this, Tatra relied on its famous backbone chassis design, which was unlike the conventional ladder frames used by most manufacturers. Running through the center of the truck was a large structural tube that housed important drivetrain components. Independent swinging axles connected to this central backbone, giving the vehicle exceptional off-road mobility. This unusual engineering approach allowed the truck to maintain traction where many other vehicles would become stuck. Another unique feature was its air-cooled diesel engine. Instead of relying on a traditional radiator and liquid cooling system, the engine used airflow to regulate temperature. This reduced the risk of freezing in cold climates and simplified maintenance in remote locations. The engine's distinctive sound became one of the truck's trademarks. The Tatra 111 quickly earned a reputation for reliability. It was used in construction projects, mining operations, forestry work, and transportation across some of the harshest environments imaginable. In many parts of Eastern Europe and Asia, these trucks became legendary because they could continue operating long after other vehicles failed. Drivers often describe the truck as nearly indestructible. Stories emerged of Tatra 111s working for decades with surprisingly few major repairs. Their ability to survive abuse made them especially valuable in remote areas where replacement parts were difficult to obtain. Today, the Tatra 111 is remembered not only for its durability but also for its strange appearance and unconventional engineering. It proved that sometimes the most unusual designs can become the most successful. earning a place among the strangest trucks the world has ever forgotten. Number 5. FWD Model B. Most trucks turn using their front wheels. The FWD Model B took a completely different approach to solving transportation challenges in the early 20th century. Produced by the four-wheel drive auto company beginning before World War I, the Model B looked unusual from almost every angle. Its tall stance, exposed mechanical components, and massive wheels gave it an appearance more similar to agricultural machinery than a conventional truck. Yet beneath that strange exterior was technology far ahead of its time. The most important feature was hidden in the truck's name. FWD stood for four-wheel drive, something that was extremely rare when the vehicle was introduced. At a time when most trucks delivered power to only one axle, the Model B could send power to all four wheels. This gave it remarkable traction on muddy roads, snowy terrain, and undeveloped routes where ordinary vehicles struggled. During the early 1900s, roads were often little more than dirt paths. Rain could turn transportation routes into mud pits, making it nearly impossible to move supplies efficiently. The Model B helped solve that problem by providing unprecedented mobility in difficult conditions. The truck became especially important during World War I. Military organizations recognized that the vehicle's four-wheel drive system allowed it to operate where many other trucks could not. Thousands were used for transporting supplies, towing equipment, and supporting military operations. Soldiers often relied on these machines in conditions that would have immobilized traditional vehicles. Its design looked strange because practicality mattered more than appearance. Large wheels improved ground clearance. Heavy-duty mechanical systems were exposed for easier maintenance. The tall structure allowed the truck to navigate rough terrain without damaging critical components. Even after the war, the FWD Model B continued serving industries such as logging, construction, and mining. In many ways, it helped establish the foundation for modern off-road trucks and military transport vehicles. Today, most people have never heard of the FWD Model B, yet its influence can still be seen in countless four-wheel drive commercial vehicles around the world. It may look primitive by modern standards, but it was one of the most important and unusual truck designs ever created. Number 4. Oshkosh HEMTT. Some trucks are designed to carry cargo. Some are designed to travel off-road. The Oshkosh HEMTT was designed to do both while operating in conditions that would stop most vehicles in their tracks. HEMTT stands for Heavy Expanded Mobility Tactical Truck, and when it first appeared in the early 1980s, it looked unlike almost anything else on the road. Built by Oshkosh Corporation for the United States military, the truck's appearance was dominated by its enormous size, wide stance, and 8-wheel drive layout. Instead of resembling a conventional commercial truck, it looked more like a machine from a science fiction movie. One of the strangest aspects of the HEMTT was its suspension system. Rather than using traditional heavy truck suspension designs, Oshkosh engineers developed a sophisticated independent suspension setup that allowed each wheel to move separately. This gave the massive vehicle remarkable off-road capability despite its size and weight. The truck was powered by a large diesel engine driving all 8 wheels. This allowed it to climb steep grades, cross rough terrain, and continue moving through mud, sand, snow, and rocky landscapes. Watching a HEMTT navigate difficult terrain is almost surreal because a vehicle that large should not be able to move with such agility. Over the years, numerous versions were produced. Some transported fuel, others carried ammunition, and some served as recovery vehicles capable of rescuing damaged military equipment. Engineers even developed variants equipped with cranes and specialized cargo handling systems. Its unusual design proved especially valuable during military operations in harsh environments. Whether crossing deserts in the Middle East or operating in muddy conditions elsewhere, the truck demonstrated an ability to perform where conventional transport vehicles would struggle. Another feature that made the HEMTT stand out was its massive tires. Each wheel appeared oversized even for a vehicle of its dimensions. These giant tires contributed to its impressive mobility and gave the truck a distinctive appearance that instantly separated it from ordinary heavy-duty vehicles. Today, the HEMTT remains one of the most recognizable military trucks ever built. While many people know it exists, few realize just how unusual its engineering truly is. Its combination of enormous size, advanced suspension technology, and extreme off-road capability makes it one of the strangest truck designs ever placed into large-scale production. Number 3. AEC Marshall. The AEC Marshall looked like someone had taken a traditional truck and stretched it into a machine designed for another purpose entirely. Introduced during the 1960s by Associated Equipment Company in Britain, the Marshall was designed primarily for military service. At first glance, it appeared unusual because of its long hood, high ground clearance, and distinctive proportions. Compared to many military trucks of its era, it seemed oversized and oddly shaped. What made the Marshall especially strange was the wide variety of tasks it was expected to perform. Engineers designed it as a highly adaptable platform, capable of handling cargo transport, equipment movement, and specialized military applications. This flexibility resulted in a design that looked very different from conventional civilian trucks. The vehicle used a powerful diesel engine and a rugged drivetrain built to survive difficult conditions. Large tires and a heavy-duty suspension system allowed it to travel over terrain that would challenge ordinary road-going vehicles. Whether crossing muddy fields, rough construction sites, or undeveloped military routes, the Marshall could continue moving with surprising effectiveness. One reason the truck looked so unusual was its cab placement. The design emphasized visibility and practicality rather than appearance. Drivers sat high above the ground, giving them an excellent view of the surrounding terrain. Combined with the truck's long front section, this created a profile that was immediately recognizable. The Marshall served in several military roles throughout its operational life. Different versions carried troops, transported equipment, and supported logistical operations. Some were even modified for highly specialized duties, further adding to the vehicle's unusual reputation, although it never became as famous as some military trucks from the United States or the Soviet Union. The AEC Marshall earned respect among those who operated it. Its durability and adaptability allowed it to remain useful for many years after its introduction. Today, surviving examples are relatively rare. Yet whenever one appears at a military vehicle show, it attracts attention because of its distinctive appearance. It represents a period when truck manufacturers often prioritized function so heavily that the resulting machines looked unlike anything else on the road. Number 2. Kenworth 953 Alaskan Hauler. Most trucks are built for highways. The Kenworth 953 was built for places where highways barely existed. Used extensively in some of the harshest regions of North America, particularly in heavy hauling and resource extraction industries, the Kenworth 953 became famous for its extraordinary size and unusual appearance. Everything about the truck looked oversized. The hood seemed endless, the tires appeared gigantic, and the overall vehicle looked more like a locomotive than a highway truck. The truck's strange appearance came largely from its intended purpose. Operators needed a machine capable of moving extremely heavy loads through rugged environments where ordinary transport vehicles could not survive. Engineers responded by creating one of the largest and most robust conventional trucks ever produced. Power came from massive diesel engines capable of generating tremendous torque. This allowed the truck to pull loads weighing hundreds of thousands of pounds under the right conditions. In industries such as logging, mining, and heavy equipment transportation, that capability was invaluable. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 953 was its popularity in Alaska and northern Canada. These regions presented unique transportation challenges, including rough roads, severe weather, and remote operating environments. The truck's rugged design made it particularly well-suited for such demanding conditions. Its long nose configuration also contributed to its unusual appearance. While cab-over-engine trucks became increasingly common in many parts of the world, the 953 retained a traditional layout with an enormous hood extending far in front of the driver. This made the vehicle appear even larger than it already was. Drivers often described the truck as intimidating. Sitting behind the wheel of a Kenworth 953 meant commanding one of the largest road-going machines ever produced. The view from the cab emphasized the vehicle's immense scale and reinforced its reputation as a true giant of the trucking world. Although newer heavy-haul trucks have emerged over the years, the Kenworth 953 remains a legend among trucking enthusiasts. Its unique appearance, immense strength, and ability to operate in some of the world's toughest environments make it one of the strangest and most unforgettable truck designs ever created. Number 1. The LeTourneau TC-497 Overland Train. If you think modern trucks are impressive, wait until you hear about a machine so strange, so enormous, and so far ahead of its time that even today it feels like something from science fiction. Meet the LeTourneau TC-497 Overland Train, the most bizarre truck design the world has almost completely forgotten. Built during the early 1960s by American engineer R.G. LeTourneau, the TC-497 wasn't really a truck in the traditional sense. It was something much stranger. Imagine combining a locomotive, a military convoy, and a giant articulated road train into a single machine. The result was the Overland Train. At first glance, it looked impossible. The vehicle consisted of a powered control unit at the front, followed by a series of connected cargo cars stretching behind it. Depending on configuration, the entire train could reach lengths of more than 500 feet. That's longer than many city blocks. The project was developed for the United States military during the Cold War. Military planners were searching for new ways to transport massive quantities of supplies across remote regions where railroads didn't exist and where traditional trucks faced serious limitations. Instead of relying on a single engine driving all the wheels mechanically, engineers created a revolutionary system. The front power cars contained gas turbine engines that generated electricity. That electricity was then sent to electric motors mounted inside the wheels throughout the train. This meant that dozens of wheels could receive power directly. The concept eliminated many of the mechanical limitations associated with traditional drivetrains and allowed the gigantic vehicle to move across difficult terrain. The wheels themselves were astonishing. Each one stood approximately 10 feet tall. And if you enjoyed this journey through trucking history, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because there are plenty more forgotten machines, unbelievable engineering projects, and incredible vehicles waiting to be discovered.